Party peoples. How y'all's doing? Your boy Bobo here. And I just got back from Skinamarink. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say about this movie. How about that it was a waste of time? Look, this movie was a $15,000 budget and it was on Shutter. Or it's a straight to Shutter film. It's an original Shutter film, but they were releasing it in theaters for this weekend or something like that. And it got all this buzz on in the internet. It had gotten all kinds of just like press about being this new, it's the next paranormal, it's the next Blair Witch, in the sense that it's like an online viral buzz type movie, all this viral marketing. It was a Seed and Spark campaign. It was a waste of time. Look, I don't want to dog on movies because I'm an aspiring filmmaker and I know what it's like to try to be, you know, in the game. And I know what it takes to make a good movie, and I know the effort it takes to put in there. And I don't want to hate on anybody's efforts, but to make a song, you can't just press a bunch of keys on the piano and call it a song. In this movie, I'm sorry. I really do not mean any offense to the filmmakers on this, but it felt like just a bunch of it felt like a student art film or something. Like people were putting a camera on one end of the room. You're staring at the same images constantly in this movie for minutes at a time, and none of it is cohesive, and there's no payoff. I went into this movie not knowing anything except seeing a very little teaser trailer. But I like doing that these days because I get more of a surprise out of the film. But let me make this clear. This is so much a non-movie. And I'm not trying to hate, because if you watch my channel, you know that I said that I'm going to stop kind of reviewing movies that I didn't care for, because I don't want to be that guy. I'm just going to review movies that I like because I'm trying to make it in the industry. I don't want to step on any toes, and I don't want to, I don't want to create, that's a bad look, but like I said, you can't just hit keys on a piano and call it a song. And this was, as far as film's concerned, like I feel like there are certain things that it has to have to constitute being a film. And this was just a bunch of like somebody setting the camera in a spot, pressing play, pressing stop, doing that again in another spot of a room or another spot in this location, and then doing that multiple times, and then editing all those scenes together into one sequence to make you feel something kind of. And there's a couple of disturbing images here and there. There's some dialogue from some children occasionally, but it's extremely muffled. Some of the times there's subtitles on screen, but even then, some of the most inaudible dialogue you're hearing that's in the background or something that's very confusing, no subtitles whatsoever, and you can't understand what they're saying. When I say that there was no payoff in this or whatsoever, like some movies you start watching and you get to like the middle or toward the end and you're like, all right, you know what? I get what they're doing here. This is pretty cool. And I do think that this was based on someone's real life because they said the name at the beginning. And I think it was a tribute to someone somehow or another, as far as that's what they said. It's, in memory of a person's name. And I can't remember whose that name was they said in the beginning. It was just printed on the screen. But this movie, when you're watching it, is not a tribute or an homage to anyone, I don't feel like. And it's just extremely confusing. It feels very like novice, like nothing was entertaining about it. And Andrew and I were talking about how, yeah, we were glued to the screen, but we were only glued to the screen because we had just driven all the way to see this movie, and we're waiting for, when is it going to happen? When's it going to pay off? And it just never does. There's a couple of like random jump scares just that are completely out of nowhere that don't have anything to do with what you're like. They don't make any sense. They just, it's literally like, when you watch those videos on that somebody's like, oh, hey, watch this video. Hey, you got to watch this video on the computer now. Just wait, get real close. Wait till you watch. And then all of a sudden something jumps out and scares you. They did that a couple times in this movie. And then there's a lot of times where it's just like, they do some stuff that just really, really hurts your ears. And the movie was not enjoyable. I found it to be a very like grueling experience. And at the end, when it was over, I just kind of said out loud, I didn't yell it, but I was just like, thank God. And a couple of people in the theater chuckled. And the feeling was unanimous in the theater. There was a lot of people that were laughing and giggling when I said that, and a lot of people breathing heavy, like throughout the movie. And you could tell that people were very much like, that was a huge waste of my time. Not It's one thing to go into a movie and it's like, that wasn't that good. And it's like, I didn't like what they did with this plot part or whatever, but you could still tell that they tried with the movie. They put a lot of effort into it. I couldn't see where the $15,000 that this movie took to make. I couldn't see where it went. I don't know what they spent it on. And again, I'm not trying to be mean, but this is just one I have to stand up for. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. I got to stand up for artists and directors and people who really, really put a strong effort into some stuff. I just don't feel like that this constitutes as a film. And I can't believe that it's a Shudder original. And this is the Shudder original they chose to put into theaters. Like, I don't know. And the guys that behind this, please, if you're hearing this review, I'm not trying to bash you. I just don't get it. I really felt like it was a waste of my time. It was almost rude to ask people to pay money to go see this in the theater. Very weird, very awkward. I want to show you one thing that I wrote down when I was in the theater, because I always take notes in the movies. Like you might be able to see that. See, it says Skinamarink. I take notes in the movie. Look, this is pretty fun. This is what I wrote down. Andrew was looking at what I was writing, and I was just like, that's how I feel. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, this is what else I wrote. Hurt my ears, WTF. Like, that's the notes that were coming out of me when I was watching this movie. So, look, I don't want to go on and on about this. This was his immediate reaction video about Skinamarink. I normally don't do this, but I had to on this video. Don't go see this movie, guys. It will be a waste of your time. It feels like you got pranked, like you got punked or something. And I got to stand up for the people that really try to make stuff original, like the movie Smile and things like this stuff that has really come to the screen that people are really putting their all into and spending so much time and effort. I just feel like it's like, what was this? So, hey, I wish you guys all the best of luck that you're behind making this movie. I really do. I'm not trying to dog in your career, but I just got to tell you, like you said, when it comes to, and I'm using this example again, when it comes to like writing a song and calling something a song, you can't just hit a bunch of keys on the piano and call it a song. So there you go. I'm out of here. And remember, guys, if life gives you lemons, make some hot, fresh popcorns.